Hello and welcome to Tricks of the Estray channel. Today is the 17th of June 2017, and in today's video we have Claudia Gadelha. Now Claudia Gadelha is in MMA, so if you watch the UFC, you probably must have seen. We'll just refer to her as a her for now, but by the time we get done with the video, we'll call it a him. She's been in a couple of super fights. She fought Joanna. I don't know. I can't really get Joanna's name, like the last name, right, so I'm not gonna even say it. But it goes like something like Joanna Yechix or something like that. Sorry if I'm butchering up the name or saying something wrong, but that's just what it is for now. So if it's your first time on the channel, before I continue on further, you have to watch the primer video. So if you haven't watched the primer video, a lot of stuff that I'm saying is not gonna make sense to you. You're gonna be asking me questions midway through the video before you get done because you haven't watched the primer video. So I'm gonna show you how to get to the primer video so you can get there and watch it. So when you go to a channel, all right, all you have to do is scroll down the list because the primer video is the very first video on this channel. It's one of the oldest videos on the channel. So that's the primer right there. You need to watch the primer video because without watching it, you won't understand a word of what I'm saying, because I want you to get the foundation, the basis right. So another thing, when you click on any video on this channel, as I'm clicking right now on the primer video, it's
Today's
gonna you're gonna find that there is a document attached in the description section. All right, so when you click on that link, it's gonna lead you to a document that says male versus female visual differences. I need you to study the document because if you're solely interested in transvestigation, you need to study this document. It's 44 pages, but I guarantee you it will take you just 30 minutes to go through it. It just has a lot of pictures. Because even though we feature a lot of transgenders on our channel, I have to repeat this over and over again. The channel is not about transgenders, all right? The channel is about showing you how to connect the dots in your world and understand how to think and understand and know who's the power control structure behind what's happening in your world. The organized happenings that's happening in your world daily, like I've always said, is controlled by the Vatican, not Jews. All right? The Jews are the proxies, they are the scapegoats, they are the cover for the Vatican. All right? So the channel is not about transgenders. Because a lot of people watch the videos on our channel and the only thing they get out of it is a transgender. They don't ask any question, anything else besides that. And I don't understand why. Because I keep saying over and over and over again, it's not about transgenders. It's about the power control structure of the world, which is the Vatican. Okay? So if you're solely interested in that, I don't want you to be asking me questions only about transgenders, because it's not really about transgenders. Whatsoever or what anybody's doing with his or her life has got nothing to do with you. It's not going to affect your life in any way. But what the Vatican does on a daily basis will affect you. It doesn't matter what the person's life is about or how he or she lives. It's not your life. You have to live your life for your own self. All right? So if you're solely interested in transgenders and trying to figure out how these people live and what they do and what they look like and their whole livelihood, study the document. Carry out your transvestigations. Okay? That's all I want to say. So before I get into the video on Claudia Gadelha, I have to say, first of all, that we are not against transgenders. If you reach the age of adulthood and you make the decision to say you want to leave the fairy tale or hoax of being in a sex that's different from the sex and gender that you were born with, that's totally fine. We are not against transgenders. We can't judge you. We have no authority. to judge anyone. We haven't been given legal authority. So when anybody comes out and saying that we are judging transgenders or whatsoever, I'm not going to even comment or answer that, because like I said, they have to listen to the video. We are not against transgenders or homosexuals or anybody who wants to live any sort of lifestyle that's different from the norm. That's totally your business. God gave every one of us the right to live their lives any type of way, and He remains the judge, not us. All right? So you answer to God or answer to anybody else you think that you're supposed to be answerable to, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be God who's gonna be judging you, and not us. All right? All what we are trying to expose here is the public deception of lies put on by the Vatican by putting transgenders in front of us and telling us that they're the gender that they claim. So if you catch someone a lie, you just have to tell them straight up, you're lying. So we caught these folks in a lie, like we're gonna catch Claudia Gadelha right here, a UFC MMA fighter, and we're gonna tell him that he's actually a him. All right, and make you understand that, because the people who are putting these transgenders in front of you left, right, and center in places of position, authority, and power is the Vatican. All right, and like I've always said, the Vatican is at the hands of the organized taking of children, young children, before they can reach the age in which they can make a decision to say that they want to live in a sex or gender that's different from the sex and gender they were born with. These children are castrated, mutilated, forced to live a life of slavery, and then this life of slavery is used to deceive us, the public. Okay, this is what we're exposing every day. Now there are channel rules in effect. Okay, if it's your first time on a channel, right, if you're gonna label someone, because we don't appreciate any name calling or mudslinging, folks, you have to think about this. If someone called you out for something that you did not do and does not provide any facts about that, is it wise? Would you like it? It's the same thing that's happening on this channel. If you want to label someone a transgender, or you want to argue for or against, you have to provide facts. The facts have to include links to pictures that you use to make your assertion, or videos, and those facts have to be centered about the differences which distinguish between a female and a male, and those facts should lie about in the fact that a woman, right, is designed to give birth and a man is not. And because a woman is designed to give birth, her skeletal structure is different from the skeletal structure of a man. So a woman has an arch in her spine to support the weight of pregnancy. She has a tilted pelvis forward so a child can stay inside the womb. Her hips are below her crotch. She has a wide pubic arch of 120 degrees or more so she can give birth comfortably. These are the distinguishing factors between male and female. Jaw lines do not give birth. Index fingers have nothing to do with birth. Long arms or short arms have nothing to do with birth. So if you're gonna make your comments to argue for or against somebody that you think are transgenders, those comments have to include those facts. All right, that's labeled about the structure that I just showed you, which I just talked about, that distinguishes between a woman from a man. Any other thing is gonna be deleted, and you might be blocked from making any further comments on this channel. Like I've always said, this channel is not about the subscription numbers. I don't care about the numbers. All I care about is people who are dedicated to the truth, people who are seeking truth, who want to know truth, who want to come to an understanding of their world, because a lot of people don't seem to understand what's going on. All I'm trying to do right here is to show you. You can pick up the pieces and find out for yourself. All I'm trying to do is just be a guide. All right? So I don't care about the subscription numbers. I care about people who are dedicated to truth, because most people are in on this channel for shock entertainment, get entertained by it. I'm not entertained making these videos. I'm trying to educate, not miseducate, as the Vatican has created a lot of fake channels on YouTube who are muddling the waters, all right? Trying to make it look like it's rocket science to be able to distinguish between a male and a female. Can you see what the world has come to? Can you see how miseducated and misguided we are? If simple things as being able to distinguish between a male and a female is a problem, what else do you think there is that's a problem then? If that's the simplest, most basic thing, because everybody comes into this world through a woman. If you can't understand the factors that distinguish between a man and a woman, how much more? What else don't you know? These are simple, basic questions. All right. So, like I've said earlier before, it's about showing you the power control structure that runs the world. Now, before I get into the video, something came to my attention because, like I'm saying, I don't really watch the news a lot because it's all propaganda. Whatever they tell you is happening between Russia, that Russia, influenced the U.S. elections. It's all nonsense. Because in the first place, let me just give you a typical example. All right, every electoral college has computers, so it's more like somebody saying somebody walked into a house. Okay, and the house has up to 100,000 rooms, and there is a laptop in every room, and all those laptops are not connected to a central network. That means if you have to make changes to the laptop, you have to physically go in the room. You can't sit down in a centralized location and control all those laptops because they are not connected centrally, and somebody has to go into the room, 100,000 rooms, and influence every single laptop and change it to make Donald Trump win the elections. That is what the propaganda news stories on your channel want you to believe. And people are actually following this day and night. All right? It's nonsense. Because in the first place, the United States public does not get to choose who's president. It's the electoral college that does. So if Russia had influenced the elections, the people you should be holding is the electoral college and not Trump. It's as simple as that. But people are going to be following this all the days of their lives, seated and glued to the television screen. Who's telling them a vision? Telling a vision of a lie that Russia influenced the US elections. It's nonsense. So I don't watch a lot of TV because when you get to find out that a lot of the stuff that you're watching is propaganda and has an angle that they're trying to sew you in or rope you in, a lot of these things becomes very distasteful. You don't want to watch it. Neither is music, because before, when I used to listen to music, I was just listening to an open mind. But now that I know what they're actually saying and what the words mean, the music just leaves a sour taste in my mind. That's just what it is. So the reason why I'm saying all this is because I want to play a short clip which I wasn't aware of, but when I was just doing some regular investigation and research into stuff, I found out that the Pope Francis, the current Pope, sometime in 2015 said that Christ, right? That Christ died a failure when he died at the cross. And this is somebody who is supposed to be preaching the gospel of Christ, saying that his own master, his supposed master, was a failure. So I want to play that clip because I want to leave that. I want people to be aware of it, and I don't want this to just slide out. I want to put this up for, posterity, so that people can understand what the Vatican is all about. So I'm going to play the short clip, and then after that we'll come back and talk about Claudia Gadelha. So I'm gonna play the clip. I'm not just gonna talk. When the clip's done, then I'll talk. So just pardon me for a few seconds. To remember that we are followers of Jesus Christ, and his life
humanly speaking, ended in failure.
Did you hear that? Though the clip was very short, I'm sure you heard it like I heard it. He said, humanly speaking, that Yehoshua's failure or life was a failure. This is Pope Francis speaking this nonsense, and people are gonna go to mass every day under this so-called leader of the world who's led by Satan himself and the demonic entities around which support him and say this man is of God. Don't be fooled, people. The Pope, just like Martin Luther had said, had nothing to do with God. He's not of God. He runs the world. He's the one organizing. I'm not saying that him in person, but the whole hierarchy, the control structure, the people behind him, all right? All of them are the ones responsible for the transgenders, the organized transgendering of children that you see every day. So that's what I wanted to say before we get into Claudia Gadelha. Now, before I get into Claudia Gadelha, I have to play a short clip. I'm going to talk a little bit about a document and the facts that you should look for when you're trying to spot a transgender. And then after that, we'll pick up Claudia Gadelha. So I'm going to play a short clip here which shows you where a woman's hips is at. A standard anywhere in the world. This is how women's dresses, pants are sewn, all right? Showing you where the hips at, because that's where the hips are actually at. So I'm going to play the clip, and this is a woman being measured into to show where the hips at, all right? As you can see, the tape goes around the widest point. As you can see, the female right here is spreading downwards, and the widest point on that female's body is her hips, and it's all below her crotch, all right? So the tape's gonna go around so you see where a woman's hips is at. I want you to take note of this if it's your first time on our channel, because we're getting into Claudia Gadelha, and these are some of the facts that we're going to be using to show you that Claudia Gadelha is actually male. So I play the clip. Tape goes around the widest point on a female's hips. Now, somebody left me a comment. I'm just saying something added here, that I'm not doing anything Christianly by showing females in underwear and showing their crotches and all that. You know, this Vatican trade Jesuit agents are trying so hard to deride the channel by brainwashing people into saying that I'm not doing anything Christian at all. But the first thing I have to tell them is that I'm not even Christian. I'm not. They actually think I am one. I am not. I am not a Christian just because you call me one. All right? I know who I am. If you want to ask me who I am, then ask me what I am. I'm a believer. There's a difference, because there is nowhere in the Bible in which Yehoshua referred to people that believed in him as Christians. Christos was a name that came from the Vatican. All right? That whole entire word Christos, it's got nothing to do with the Bible. It was Messiah. That was his name. Yehoshua, the Messiah. The Vatican changed it into Christos because of the halos that they were worshiping in the Roman Catholic Church. And now people go about calling themselves Christians. The Vatican gave you that name. It was derogatory in the first place. Because in the Bible, you'll never see Paul the apostle or Peter address anybody as Christians. He called them brethren, beloved, fellowshippers of your Messiah, of the Mashiach in Hebrew. So I'm not a Christian. If you call me a Christian, you got it very wrong. I'm not. Okay, so let me continue playing this clip so we can get back to Claudia Gadelha. So the tape goes around the widest point on a female's hips, which is below her crotch. As you can see, this female is going to turn around, and right there you see that is just below her bum line. So I want you to take notice of that. So now we get into a document. All right, this is a document that I advise that you should have if you're solely interested in transgenders. I expect you to be able to know how to transvestigate someone after you get on this channel in a couple of days if you studied the document and gone through a lot of the videos that we do have. So a female always has to have an arch in her back. The reason for the arch in her back is because a female's gonna get pregnant. She's gonna carry the weight of pregnancy. So the arch is extra support so she doesn't tumble over, all right, and have problems walking while pregnant. A female has a tilted pelvis forward, all right, tilted pelvis so that the baby can stay inside and not drop out of the womb. So the arch is always going to be shaped like a C or an S. Males do not have an arch in their back. It's a straight back. A man's back is going to be shaped like a P or a D if it wants to arch at all. Alright? It arches outside, not inside like a female. Female's back. I want you to remember my words when you're doing your transvestigation. C arch in the back for a female. Now, it doesn't matter if the female is big or small, all right? A woman's back is always going to arch more. If she bends or does anything, you're going to see that deep arch of a C in her back. She doesn't need to do it. It's just naturally in there. A man would forcefully need to arch his back, all right, for him to have one. So it doesn't matter if the female is muscular, big, small, tall, whatever size or shape that she comes in, she always has to have an arch in her back. Here's a female on my right, a small female, arch in the back, shaped like a C, a tilted pelvis forward. Tilted pelvis is forward. That's why it looks like a female. When a female is standing, she's sticking her butt out. That's why females have more butt than men, because the pelvis where the butt is at is tilted forward. Does it make sense? That's why a female has a smaller waist. You can put your arms around a female's waist and it goes all around because of the arch in the back. All right? Doesn't matter if the female is big, like the one on my left, tilted pelvis, arch in her back. All right? Doesn't matter if she's got muscles, like this muscular female's right here, arch in the back. Arch in the back. All right? So there is no excuse when you're doing transvestigation that a female should not have an arch in her back. It's a requisite. And the hip is always going to be below the crotch. So when you're making comments, you have to make comments around these facts. Otherwise, it's going to be deleted, removed, or you're just going to be blocked totally from making any further comments on our channel. All right? So let's get into Claudia Gadelha now. And here is Claudia Gadelha at a fight with another female. Now, this is a woman because I can see even from here that she has an arch in her back, right? And she has a tilted and curvy belly downwards. But look at Claudia Gadelha right here. It's a straight back. There is no arch in this back. It's straight up and down just like mine because this is male. Been fooling people, and the UFC, Dana White here knows that this is a transgendered woman. He knows because he's part of the cabal. He's part of the strata of the Illuminati or Freemason because the Vatican is the Illuminati. All right? I'm just telling you that. So let's go further with another picture. And here is Claudia Gadelha in a fight. Actually, I think that's with Johanna, if I'm correct. As you can see, it's a straight back. Back like mine. Because this is male. It's been fooling you guys that he's female when he's not. Even when you watch and listen to this thing speak, you know the voice that's coming through you is the voice of a male. But because the world and the UFC and Dana White tell you that this is female, you believe it. That's why you can't make role models of anybody you see on TV because you don't know who they are. You can't have a crush on anybody on TV and say, I love this person. You don't know what you're loving, right? Okay, another picture again, same fight, straight back. You can see Johanna here, even from the way we're looking at, has an arch. You can see right there. But here is a straight back of a male. All right. This Claudia Gadelha is male. All right. I'm going to try to blow that up again. Straight back. All right. Okay. And here's Johanna at a weigh-in. As you can see, that's the V-tapered formation of a man. See how long that goes all the way down, right? And see how the shoulders are away from the body. And see, this is all straight. And where's the pelvis? Where's the tilt in the pelvis? That's a male crutch. I'm not even sure what's going on in there. But this is a man lying to you that it's female. All right. Look at that. Can you see the Adam's apple and how wide the neck is? Because as a man, you have a heavier skull. A man's head is 10% more bigger than the head of a female when you take into consideration the ethnicity, the height, and the weight. Like I've always said, when you're comparing skulls, you have to compare skulls of the same ethnicity. Because black people's skulls are heavier than any other ethnicity, because black people tend to store much more water in their bones. Their bones are heavier. All right. That's just the way the skeletal design is designed for black people. Right. So when you're comparing skulls, you have to make sure you compare skulls of the same ethnicity, the same height, and take into consideration the weight. Now, why is a man's neck wider? Is because the skull on top is heavier. It's normal in architectural design and when you're building stuff that if you have something heavy on top, you have a wide enough support base to support that. And look at the Adam's apple right there. It's been shaved, but it's still there. And you can see that this is a man. All right. I don't know who transgendered this fellow, but that's a man. See that? The Adam's apple shaved and the wide neck. I mean, this is a gigantic neck for a female. All right, let's go for some more pictures. And here is Claudia Gadelha at the beach, and as you can see, the arms are straight, right? The elbows hang outside the body, and it's a straight back too. A flat, 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 straight pelvis. And this is a dude who likes his who likes his male to have breasts, right? Okay, some more pictures. And this is Claudia Gadelha taking a selfie. And what do you see? Straight back. And someone is going to look at this and say, oh man, I love Claudia Gadelha. I think it's sexy. You're looking at a dude. All right? Straight back into the pelvis. All right? And it's trying to lie to you with wearing this thing over here to make it look like it's wearing a female underwear when it's a dude. All right? Some more pictures. Look at that again. Straight back. See the female over here? Tilted pelvis forward. See that arch in the back? The C-shaped arch I'm talking about? And here it's straight. And look at where Claudia Gadelha is putting his hands on. That's the comfort zone of a man. That's where I put my hands on if I'm a dude. Okay? All right. Some more pictures. Look at that. Straight back into the pelvis. All right? That's the back of a dude. Straight back. Shaped like a P or a D and not an S or a C. All right? Some more pictures. Look at where he likes putting his hands on. The comfort zone of where I will put my hands. On my waists. Because I'm a dude. That's my comfort zone. This is a dude. Straight back. Alright? Some more pictures. Look at Claudia Gadelha again. Straight back. Shaped like a P or a D. Been lying to y'all in the UFC that it's female when it's actually a dude. And see where the navel's at? Hanging real low? Because this is a dude. And look at the muscular structure. Look at that. Faking garnish or varnish on its toenails. This is a dude. Don't be deceived anymore. The UFC's been deceiving you still and will keep on doing so. Look at Claudia Gadelha again. Look at where it's putting his hands on. Look at the muscles on this thing. Look at the straight pelvis, right? See that the straight pelvis is straight, right? It's not flaring like a woman should. This is not just a woman with narrow hips. This is a man, all right? Look at that wide neck again, right? Wide neck, fake smile, trying to divert you with the smile that you're looking at a female when it's actually a dude. Some more other pictures. Look at that again. Straight, 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 straight back. Where is the female hip right here? Can you see that punch sticking out? Where it's supposed to be flaring downwards? No, because this is a dude. Alright, some more pictures. Look at that again. Show me where the widest point on that hip is at. Where you start seeing the Q angle. It's right there. Above the crotch. See that? That's the widest point. Above the crotch. Because this is male. There ain't no female. Alright? So with that, I come to the end of today's video. I hope you learned something. If you don't like the video, please don't leave a comment. It doesn't make any sense, because if you go to watch a movie at a movie theater in which you pay a lot of money to watch the movies, and the movie doesn't make any sense and you didn't enjoy it, you don't go looking around for the producer to leave a comment. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, if you think the video is stupid, don't watch it. Don't leave stupid comments. I mean, it makes you even more stupid than I am by sitting through the video and then going to leave a comment. If I watch a video I don't like and I think it's stupid, I just roll over and just go do the next thing. Alright? So, I've come to the end of today's video. I hope you learned something. So subscribe, stay tuned, and I leave you with these words. Look with your eyes and see with your brain. Don't be deceived by this wide neck and this smile trying to tell you that it's female. It's a dude. Thanks and bye-bye.